Hey, I'm Chian Lin. I'm a solutions architect at EPMI.
What was your career background before EPMI?
So I got my started with my career coming from like a customer service background out of college. So I had a customer service technical support type job. I actually, helped customers troubleshoot their smartphones and their tablets. So I'm very familiar with that. So that customer service framework kind of has, bled into my experience working with Hyperion and now with EPM, just trying to build solutions that are sustainable, that are easy to support, and that will be something that I would be happy to live with and deal with every day.
What challenges can organizations face in their EPM journey?
A lot of different challenges when you're starting to build an EPM solution. So definitely you want to have good alignment and buy-in from all the key players. So whoever those stakeholders may be, whether that's the finance department, whether that's the accounting department, whether that's even IT, or an executive leadership person who really wants to push it. It really is helpful in my experience to have that buy-in because then people will be more enthusiastic about whatever the result is.
What has been your favorite project outcome?
Generally, like you like the customers who like come back to you and want to do more stuff. That's always my favorite outcome is like, hey, we did such a great job implementing something like financials or income statement planning or reporting or something like that. And then the customer comes back and says, okay, now we want to do a phase two. Now we want to do balance sheet planning. Now we want to do narrative reporting. Now we got to do financial close or account recs. So on the managed services side, it's nice to see when customers sign up with us, don't really have that many support tickets because that means their system is working pretty well and that we're being pretty proactive about solving their problems. So I like that, but at the same time, I also like customers who have good administrators, a good like center of excellence on their side. So where if we're getting a support ticket from them, it's not just a really basic question. It's something that's really nuanced and specific, which tells me that it's like, hey, they're really getting deep into EPM and really using all of what EPM is capable of giving them.
What has been your favorite industry to work with?
But it's always kind of surprising when I step into a new industry and kind of experience some of their nuances for the first time. So hard to say. I mean, my first project, we did an insurance company, so it was all about insurance policies, different types of insurance. Then I did a lot of oil and gas. Then I did a lot of semiconductor, like high tech stuff. So it really depends. I mean, at the end of the day, like the processes in which I support most, which is kind of planning, budgeting, and reporting type things, those are pretty broadly applicable to any industry, really. So it just kind of depends on the vision of what they want to plan and the granularity in which they want to plan it or report it, and then we can figure out how to put it into the tool in a way that makes sense for them.
How do you spend your time outside of EPMI?
So my wife and I, we like to do national park trips. We have one planned actually for shortly after the next conference to spin around Colorado, see some more national parks. Like we love hiking, we love camping. We probably won't be camping this time because it'll be too hot, but it's really enjoyable to kind of see the majesty and the beauty of what's out there and to touch grass, so to speak.
Tell us what to expect from your Kscope26
I've
presentation.
got two sessions this year at Kscope26. Both of them are on the master data and integrations track, and they're really kind of for varying levels of audience. So the one that I have for everyone, it's called Swimming to Shore, Troubleshooting EPM Cloud Integrations, and that one is all about when you get an error message and when something goes wrong, even if you're not the guy that normally supports it, if you're not the person who normally is the one who takes care of the loads, you can actually have some familiarity, go in there, figure out kind of what's wrong, who to call for help, or maybe if it's something easier, how to fix it. So that's the crux of that session is to really kind of demystify the act of troubleshooting a data load because that could be something that it's a totally different interface than everything else in EPM Cloud. So if you've never done it before, it can be intimidating, but we're just trying to make it easier for people to go on there and to be able to figure things out on their own rather than say like, oh, I got an error. Let's immediately call everyone I know for help because we can't move on. So we're just trying to give you a little bit of a way to triage and support yourself. So that's the first one. The second one is a bit more advanced of a topic. It's called augmented data integrations, I believe. And the whole concept behind that is there are going to be cases where when you're doing data integration, so that's kind of a repeated routine data load that you perform, day after day, month after month, you may have data coming from systems where the format isn't exactly quite right for what the data integration tool can do. So that session, augmented data integrations, is all about how do I get the file that I have or the data report that I received to actually, work successfully within EPM, load correctly within EPM, without having to go outside of EPM, find all these other tools like Python, Jython, PowerShell, or whatever to get the file right, right? So that's just kind of using Groovy which is a really cool native functionality that's now built into EPM to be able to kind of manipulate files. Like one good example is taking like the file name and the date from the name of the file, putting that in the rows of the file. So it's available onto you with every column, which allows you to load it in like at the record level so that when a user goes and drills in and looks at a specific balance, specific month, it will actually see that, oh, this came from the file called this on this date. So that type of context is extremely useful. So that's the kind of the idea behind that session. So it's just building on kind of the sessions that I gave in the past at Kscope 25 and 24, where I was more just talking about, hey, how do you use data integrations? How do you do cool stuff with data integrations? So this year we're kind of tackling it from different angles, right? So the troubleshooting angle for everyone, and kind of like, okay, you already know what you're doing, and you want to be able to do a little bit more. Let's talk about augmenting the data loads to get them to do even more stuff that you didn't think was possible.